Recap in minutes. Today we will be going through an action, adventure, and thriller movie from 2022 entitled Black Warrant. There will be spoilers ahead in this video, so chill out and enjoy. The movie begins in the city of Tijuana in Mexico. Two DEA officials, Agent Anthony and Agent Juan, go to raid a warehouse. Once they reach the warehouse, Anthony wishes him the best of luck. Juan does not like that and says it is actually a bad luck sign. Now Anthony leads the mission and orders his men to get into the warehouse. They capture all of the staff and start to confiscate the stuff. Anthony gets into the manager's office and asks him where the dealer is. He nods at the door but does not say anything. They find Zico, a mafia member, in the bathroom. They held him at gunpoint and started walking him down. Suddenly he tricks the cop and snatches his gun. He flees from there, firing at Anthony and his men. While down in the street, Juan was on the phone with his wife. When he sees Zico, tries to stop him but he kills him with his machine gun and escapes. Anthony suffers the crushing loss of his friend during a narcotics raid. Meanwhile, at a local yacht marina, Nick gets an unexpected visit from an old friend and colleague, LaRusso. He tells him that the government needs him, and he makes him realize the importance of a retired government shadow operative for an urgent mission. He shows him the black warrants of their targets to him, as well as offers him a handsome amount for the successful termination of them. Now he hands him the files of the most wanted to him and briefs him one by one on Bin Ferry, Palat, and Mustafar. He warns him that he must say yes to the mission, otherwise, the authorities would expose his old missions in Miami. He tells him that it is a matter of national security, and they cannot take the risk of his refusal. He says the guys at the agency cannot take a chance on him saying no, that's why they sent him, because they know they are friends. He requests him to do this job as a favor to his friend. After some arguments between the friends, he agrees to do the job. In the next scene, he goes inside his yacht and opens its board. He uncovers his bulletproof vest along with the ammunition, and takes a look before taking them out from there. He prepares for his mission to eliminate the most wanted criminals. On the other hand, Anthony was sitting in his office. He was remembering his friend and his previous raid. Meanwhile, a DEA captain comes to him and advises him to ask for the transfer from the position, because he feels that he seems to be unable to do the field job. Anthony rejects him, saying that he is perfect to finish the job. Now he starts briefing about the raid to him. He says that the warehouse was owned by Sanmar, and he imports chandeliers and all of their parts from China. They assemble them and distribute them in the country. While the shooter is Zico, who has been in the jail of El Hongo. But somebody must have paid a lot of money to get him out. The next moment, Juan's wife comes to their office and asks about her husband's body. She tells him that she knows everything, as she heard everything on the phone. After that, they go to investigate Palat, the manager they have taken from the warehouse. As they enter the room, he starts yelling at them, saying that he does not know the shooter, and that he never saw him before in his entire life. The captain asks him what he does for Sanmar. He tells him that he just manages the shipping and receiving. Anthony tells him that they have run their system on him and found out who he is. He knows he is Palat and has warrants from the FBI, Interpol, Europol, and Turkish intelligence. He asks him how long he has been on the run, and how he manages to escape. He replies that it's been a while and he does the business of money laundering. Now he asks him to make a deal to let him go. He will give him the whereabouts of a terrorist, Hussein Bin Ferry. They seem to be ignoring his talks as they do not know who Bin Ferry is. When he keeps talking, and notices that they do not care to understand what he is saying, he asks them if they know who Bin Ferry is. When they say they do not know, he says, if he was him, he would pay careful attention to everything he has to say. He asks them to make a deal first to know more about him. But Anthony says he has nothing to do with his imaginary Bin Ferry. Palat gets embarrassed and tells them that he knows Bin Ferry's plans. Anthony talks to his captain and says he is just willing to give up his bosses. Palat answers that it is right because he is not in a position to defend anyone. They leave him there and go into the conference room, where they see him talking on the camera. He says that he knows they will let the FBI know about this, and this information will blow their minds. He also assures them that they will give him a better deal. Anthony goes to inform the FBI afterward. The next day, Anthony meets the captain in the corridor and tells him that Palat was not lying. The FBI wants him. He tells him that he will take him to the border. On the other hand, Nick has gone to a roof of a building and starts assembling his gun. The next moment, he tried to fire at Palat in the massage room but could not. Anthony comes to the room, and asks him to pack his bag and get ready to leave the hotel immediately. Palat tries to make a deal with Anthony and says if he drives him to the airport instead, he will give him his laptop and password, and he will give him the location of his friend's killer. When Anthony's expression does not change, he lures him, saying that he will deposit $5 million for him on any account in the world. He ignores him and takes him to the ground floor. There Nick finds him and snipes him out. In the next scene, Anthony returns to his office, where the captain was holding a meeting with his staff. Anthony sees some investigative files on the table under the name of Palat. He picks a cultural center's card from them and goes to the place. He traces the girl from the kitchen, and tells him that he knows her and shows her his badge. He takes her in his truck and asks her to help the DEA by putting the microphone under one of the VIP tables. She agrees with him eventually and gets off the truck. At night, when she goes to her shift, she attaches the microphone under the table. While outside the Parallax Hotel, Nick arrives in his truck and waits for Ben Ferry. After some time, he reaches there with his men and goes to the VIP tables. One of his men takes him to the other side and shows him a mobile, which controls the grids of the city. He briefs him that they can easily cut the electricity off the entire grid if they want. Anthony and his agents watch them doing some business deals, but could not know what is happening on the phone. They keep cutting the electricity of the city. Meanwhile, Nick enters the hotel and kills his guards. They rush to save Ben Ferry and retaliate to kill him. Nick moves to kill Ben Ferry but he finds his way out. Anthony comes to the street and runs to catch Ben Ferry, but he does not stop and escapes from there. When he comes inside the hotel, he finds Nick and shouts to drop the weapon. He drops a gas shell toward him and flees from there. He sends the picture of Khalil to his agency friend and goes home. The next morning, the captain comes to the crime scene and asks Anthony what happened last night. He tells him that Ben Ferry was there and someone knew that he would be there, so he came before them. The captain gets angry at him, saying that they have had the entire surveillance system, and how they failed. Anthony takes him to their surveillance room, and tells him that they could catch him if there was no power out at that time. The captain shocks them, telling them that there was a total shutdown of the city at night. He picks up his camera and starts checking the footage to see what actually happened at night. They get worried when they see that it was Ben Ferry who shut down the city at night. In the next scene, Anthony goes to the Rashida Culture Center. He meets her and tells her that he wants to talk about her uncle. She tells him that she is busy, so he should call her office before meeting her. After that, he sees Nick there and checks his phone to confirm his identity. Meanwhile, Nick suspects him and goes from there. Anthony goes out to follow him but he loses him. There he finds Mina and asks her if she has seen the old man. She tells him that she saw him and he is going in the Jeep now. He takes her car and starts to follow him. They stop at a spot when he goes to the parking lot of a hotel. The next morning, Anthony goes to his hotel and waits for him to come out. As soon as he comes out in his Jeep, he follows him and turns on the siren to stop him. When he stops, he asks him to show him his license. Nick asks him if he did something wrong. Anthony says he is not a cop, he is from the DEA, and shocks him by saying that he is his son. In the next scene, Nick takes him to his yacht. He offers him a beer, and tells him how he is surprised to know that he is a successful agent. He is seeing him after many years and wonders how he has grown up. He opens to him saying that the man who killed his wife actually came to kill him. Anthony chuckles sarcastically and asks him why anyone would kill him. He replies that he filled his hotel room with carbon monoxide to kill that man, but he survived and his family died instead. Anthony worries and asks him that he was an industrial lubricant salesman. How come he goes to kill anyone? Nick says it was not his job. He was actually working with a shadow agency of the NSA. And it was his job to execute the black warrants and kill enemies of the state. Nick says he has a lot of regrets, including abandoning him without his protection. Now he comes out from the yacht to leave, but his dad comes following him and gives him his phone to contact him in the future. Suddenly, Zico appears with his men and kidnaps his son. Nick gets up, takes his Jeep, and follows them. They take Anthony to the safe house of Ben Ferry. He asks him why he is troubling him, as he does not deal in drugs. He replies that he should ask this question to Zico because he is following him all the time. His phone rings. Ben Ferry answers the call. Nick says he knows him very well for the last 20 years. He tells him that he used this DEA agent as bait to find him. Nick tells him that he is his son, so let him go. He refuses and gets his knife to kill him, but a janitor comes inside. They give him some money and ask him to leave. The next moment, the electricity booms. Nick comes into the building and starts firing at his bodyguards. He frees Anthony and takes him to his yacht again. After some time, he gets a call from Mina, and Zico tells him that they have taken her, and come there, as they have some unfinished business with him. He rushes to save her but his father stops him and says let the cops take care of them. He ignores him and goes to her apartment. Zico warns him of killing her if does not down his gun. He asks him to call his father, otherwise he will throw her from the building. When he starts to call him, he fires at him from the next building. Meanwhile, Nick comes to them and asks him where Ben Ferry is. He shows his phone to them with his location. Nick comes up with a plan, he tells him to take them to Bin Ferry and keep his $1 million, which he was going to give him after murdering him and his son. Later on, he reaches Rashida's home, where they were hiding. They take Anthony inside the house, wrapped in the plastic cover like a dead body. When Bin Ferry transfers the money, he asks them to open the cover. Anthony yells at Rashida to get out of there, call Captain Escalante, and send him here. They kill all of his bodyguards and Bin Ferry asks him what he wants from him. He gets tired of listening to him and kills him eventually. The movie ends on Nick's yacht. Juan's wife thanks Anthony and Nick for $1 million in her account from her husband's insurance. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Recap in minutes for more videos like this, and help the channel grow.